As restrictions are lifted, Andrew May and Paul Mizzi ask business owners one question: coffee or Corona? The answer determines the flow of the conversation. Today, Paul takes Andrew to his local coffee shop to meet the owner, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel, how are you? Coffee or Corona?
No. Look, it's a cafe, mate. I want to try Daniel's coffee.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, this is great coffee, Daniel.
I told you it was a good coffee. Didn't I tell you it was a good coffee?
Yeah.
Every time I order a coffee from Daniel or Nick, I say make it with love. And they know what my expectation is. It's a smile, it's a bit of a light-hearted approach to the customer. And I'm only here today in the hope that I get a coffee card out of this fucking bloke.
What's your background in coffee?
So I've been in the industry for 15 years. Always had an eyesight on owning my own business. I get up early, I'm an early bird, and I come to work and I put up with people like Paul. In a good way.
We all do.
Well, basically, you can't start your day without visiting Bobbi Beans. All of our friends are here. He's managed to create this community spirit in the area.
Obviously, you had people coming here having coffee as a group, and then they said close the doors. And what have you been doing?
So at the start, I shit myself. Dead set.
I would have liked to see that.
Literally,
That wouldn't be a pretty sight.
literally trying to work out what I'm going to do with staff, what I'm going to do with the business, how long am I going to last if we close. I've got staff. And two junior guys that I got here, they both said, you know, we're happy to just for now take it back. I kept my full-timer Nick, and we just decided to run it. For the first couple of days, we would sit on the coffee tins, we'd sit down and we'd be like, okay, who's coming in? And the first couple of days were stressful, but then all of a sudden, we didn't have time to sit on the tins.
I remember one morning I rocked up and they had a blanket out in the nature strip across the road because all the tables were shut down.
Oh, you'd be booked on that blanket.
Like Paul said before, the place is so communal. All of a sudden, I saw people just dipping into their pockets. I'll buy this, I'll buy that. Whatever I put on the shelf, they bought. People started buying coffee beans because we retail coffee beans. So all of a sudden, we ran out of coffee beans. People who would normally buy 500 grams or a kilo were buying 4 kilos, 5 kilos at a time. And we're trying to tell them, right now, we're not closed. No, they didn't care. Bang, I wanted to buy it.
Did you introduce other items other than coffee in here?
Yeah, so what happened was my food supplier shut down. So he calls me and goes, I can't afford to keep going, I'm closing. Okay, the part of my business is obviously coffee. The food is the on-site thing, but people still wanting, they didn't care. We put key rings on display, they bought them. The other thing that was a factor of keeping us going was there was the whole toilet roll incident where everyone was buying toilet paper.
I remember that. You were giving out free toilet paper with every coffee. I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks.
Did it have your cafe printed on the toilet paper?
No. So at that time, you're trying to make money, you're trying to survive in a pandemic. Some people didn't feel comfortable coming out anymore. You could see that.
Yep.
Behind it all, we were still wondering, was the government going to close us down permanently?
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a stressful time for you as a small business.
I was fortunate enough that I had clientele that actually felt, nah, I'm going to support the business.
That's very important. You're part of the community, and it drives, the community grows together and works together to support their local community coffee shop, which has become more than that because you're now serving some fruit from the greengrocer that's shut down. You've got other products.
So as a member of that community, we continue to support the business and
the camaraderie of the street just went bang. We're going to do it. We're going to support local business. And for the first couple of weeks, that's what it was about.
It's starting to open up. Rules are being relaxed a bit. What's the future? What are you doing?
The problem I'll face is I'll have customers that'll come in and they'll want to sit down. And then the next person will want to sit down. And I think people underestimate how many people will want to sit down. And 20 people, the government might think might be a lot. But Paul can vouch for this. The amount of people that I can serve between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m., I can do 20 people within the first 5 minutes. So for me, some people will, you know, oh, but your shop's got all these people at the front. Well, I'm sorry, I'm trying to make $1. I'm trying to keep wages going. I'm trying to keep you guys happy.
You don't worry about him, don't make him happy. Worry about the others.
But part of making him happy is
I could have bought another
investment.
investment. I could have bought another investment property with the money I spend here.
No.
Actually, Daniel, at what point will you consider putting the tables and chairs back in?
I want to wait and see how society, right now, how we've acted, how it's progressed over the coming weeks. I'm not going to just jump straight back into it because I don't have to. That's a benefit that I've got. I can understand some people who haven't been able to actually take, you know, orders, or they haven't had the clientele in there. But my thing is right now, I would rather just play it better safe than sorry. Yeah. So for now,
safe in terms of the spread of the virus?
Yeah.
Or...
One of the biggest fears that I've had is what happens if someone comes into me and goes, 2 weeks ago I got tested and I had the virus. What happens to my business after the fact?
So during the pandemic, there were a lot of sad stories. Do you think you got through it relatively unscathed?
I would say that at the start, the hardest part of it was listening to everybody.
The negativity.
And the negativity. So you'd have people walking in and they'd be like, did you hear this? Did you hear that? Now, I think everyone's positive in a good way. They're saying, okay, well, we can soldier through.
There's a thing at the moment being talked about, pivoting your business, and you've obviously done that. It means kind of changing your perspective. Even businesses like Paul's and my business, we've had to change how we work. And we think and we work.
Yeah.
We said think and work at the same time.
Think and work. I don't think we work. Have you learned anything from it, Daniel? Or has it taught you, like...
I think I underestimated how much the shop means to the locals.
To a lot of people.
I get told I just push a button for a living. You know, we go up to the coffee machine, we push the button, here you go. I think there's a lot more to that now, and I think we believe in it more.
Yeah, you look at the button with love.
The only criticism I've got about Bobby Beans is that they play fucking Michael Bublé. I can't stand Michael Bublé.
I love it. I don't know what you got against him.
Well, the good news is I don't think we're allowed, for copyright reasons, to play Michael Bublé during this interview. Thank fuck for that.
You know, when a client of yours calls you from overseas, Italy, actually 3 of them calls overseas in the middle of the night to tell me that they've just had a coffee, but in fact they're in the middle of a piazza
in Rome.
In Rome. Drunk, mind you.
Cut that, please.
You know that it's more than a coffee shop.
Well, look, mate, it's been a pleasure meeting you, and the coffee's been great. See, better than having a beer, a Corona. Yeah, coffee's wonderful. So, cheers.
Thank you. Oh! Good luck.
We got that on camera, I hope. We got the spill.
Have you been drinking?
If you're interested in participating, sponsoring us, or both, why not contact us? coffee@mazeproductions.com.au.